Can you retell a story that you told tonight on the Opry stage about 4 years
Yeah.
ago? That was an
Yeah.
incredible story.
Thank you. This morning I woke up and I saw sort of on Facebook memories 4 years ago today, I was standing out on Broadway and busking, as they call it. So busking, if people haven't heard of that before, it's sort of where you stand with your guitar and have your guitar case open, and people walking by can throw a dollar bill or something inside of it. And so I stood out on Broadway for 24 hours. And it was cold and rainy. It was like the worst weather. I mean, right now it's so hot in Nashville, and I wish we could have had a day like this, but it was not. It was cold and rainy. And I will never forget that day. I will never forget all the friends that came down. I had a bunch of friends who came down to sit in with me, and I took 5 minutes break every hour just so I could grab something to eat or whatever. But I played for all 24 of those hours, and it was a long day. But we were able to raise thousands of dollars for Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, which was really, really cool. And I will never forget the last hour of it. So by that point, I'd been playing for about probably 23 and a half hours. And so many fans and people had come down on Broadway to see me play that the cops had to shut off one lane of the street because they were stepping into the street because they had nowhere else to go. The sidewalk was only so big. And I had an iPad behind me sort of counting down. And I still can hear like the whole crowd singing 10, 9, 8. And I was so excited to be done because my voice was so tired. My fingers were so tired. And so just that last like 10 seconds, I still remember vividly in my mind. And anytime I look at that picture, I'm just like, wow, it's kind of cool and crazy the things that I've done, the things that we do to get to where we want in life is so insane when we look back on them. But yet I wouldn't change anything.
And that's something, I mean, because you have this incredible story about coming to Nashville from, and growing up in Canada and finding country music there and then coming here to this town. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about, is that it's not really a story of a career. It's a life story. Like, this is your life story now. It's not like a career story. And I don't think a lot of people think about that when they hear the songs on the radio or they see you performing on stage.
And with a lot of artists, I mean, you truly take this on as like, this is what I'm doing. I don't have a backup plan. Like, Mom, I don't have a backup plan. I'm moving to Nashville and I'm going to be a country singer. And it's just like you figure out ways to make it work. I was asked a few weeks ago, like, what was the thing I'm most proud of, living in Nashville for 9 years. And the thing I'm most proud of is learning how to survive, like learning how to survive and figure this thing out and continue to be able to pay my band and keep them afloat, and yet get to wake up and do what I love every single day. Like, I would not change this for a second. And I'm so grateful that I can write songs and play them in front of thousands of people every night. Like, what kind of job is this? This is the craziest job on the planet, but I'm very lucky.
You do have a certain energy when you perform, and you see that especially start to shine through when you're on the Opry stage, and you can really tell how much either that or you're really good at pretending. But it seems like it really means a lot to you to be on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry every time. And you've been performing quite a bit here lately.
I mean, the Opry is the church of country music. This is like, so many legends have stood on that wooden circle. I remember from my debut way back, I think this is my 38th time playing the Opry. And every time I walk into that circle, I know I stand there needing to carry the torch and bring out that responsibility and bring out that life and the energy that so many singers and artists and icons that we look back on have stood in that very spot. And so I always look up to the Opry as one of my favorite places to play and as a sacred space.
I know it meant obviously a lot to you to make your Opry debut and to play here, but is it achieving that goal or getting to come back time after time? What feels more special to you?
Definitely the latter. I always feel that we set goals for ourselves, and it's never about the achievement, so to speak. You know,
Yeah.
you can set a goal, like my goal to move to Nashville. I was like, I just got to move to Nashville and everything's going to be great. And then I moved to Nashville and I'm like, all right, I just got to sign a record deal. Everything's going to be great. And then I signed a record deal and I'm like, I just got to get a song on the radio. And it's like, you always have that next goal. And so it's great to achieve goals. It's great to set really lofty goals that you need to or want to accomplish one day. But it is so much more important in the journey, the process of getting there, and then the journey afterwards of like where you're going. And so the fact that I can continue to come back and grace the stage and play it and be on bills with artists that I look up to and that I've dreamed of sharing stages with is the real surreal thing. It's pretty crazy.
And you're also at the point now where you're inspiring others.
Which
What does
is
that feel
so
like?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I mean, talk about responsibility. My goodness. Like, I remember watching Shania Twain play and, you know, award show after award show. And just, she was my idol growing up. I mean, coming from Canada, like Shania was everything to me. And thinking of how much Shania and Sheryl Crow and Bonnie Raitt and Faith Hill and Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline. I mean, I could go on forever, but thinking of how much these strong women inspired me when I was a little girl. And the fact that I have that influence or that ability to inspire other little girls who are maybe wanting to do this, or maybe little boys who are wanting to get into the music industry, it's crazy. And it kind of is like, whoa, I gotta play my cards right. I gotta set that good example. I mean, if I can even set half of the example as those women set for me, then I know I'm headed in the right direction.
Yeah, you are somebody Shania. That's kind of
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
and you're doing it with a guitar, which makes it even better.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, I love the fact that as a musician, I mean, some of my favorite artists, it's just like the whole landscape of their world. You know, it's like the way they write their songs, the way they sing their songs, the way they play their instrument, and the way they perform. And so many of my favorite artists, it's when all of those pieces of the puzzle come together. That's what's really cool and what can be really impactful and inspiring. And so I'm grateful that I can, you know, throw a couple guitar solos in there and maybe inspire.
We need more
people
guitar
out there.
solos in music. I truly believe that.
Hey, I'll take that day all day long.
What Happens in a Small Town?
Yeah.
This is huge.
It's crazy.
I should say CMA nominated What Happens in a Small Town.
Yeah.
So watching the success of this happen, like right now as we record this, it's so exciting to see.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very grateful that Brantley Gilbert and Scott Borchetta called and asked us to be a part of this and asked me to play and sing on this song. It's been amazing. You know, Brantley and I were friends before this, but it's amazing really getting to know him and his wife Amber and their beautiful family, their road crew. I mean, I truly feel like Brantley's an older brother to me. And I always say I'm sort of ruining his rocker image because he is the sweetest person. He's so generous. He when we were recording the music video, he was going around on set making sure that all the girls needed everything, and he's like, do you want a coffee or something? I was like, Brantley, who are you? You're a special human being. And so he's so sweet, so funny. We've had such a blast touring with him. You know, we've been on the Not Like Us tour with him and Michael
Right.
Ray this year, as well as just watching this song take off. It is amazing.
Lindsay Ell, it's always fun having you here at the Opry and hanging out with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you.